Remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs. Okay,
but what do they call them?
Why
now,
would they
too?
get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole image. The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage, there's power of being on TV, there's power of television, and to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story, don't change the characters.
It sounds like you're one of the only ones there, just like Rachel Zegler, as it turns out, and we part with this video of Rachel Zegler alone in a theater watching herself. One of the most unlikable humans.
That
ever.
is sadder than when the original Snow White eats the apple.
Oh, man.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for far less than this nonsense.
Excuse me. Your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you?
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
I think it's fair to say that no one can stand the star of this movie.
Given all the behind-the-scenes mayhem, I expected a Frankenstein's monster where scenes to be stitched together. I think a lot of these live-action updates are really hard to watch. They've really done so much stepping on rakes over the last few months with this project where the box office is just not going to recover.
The movie apparently is not very good. I haven't seen it yet. I would be shocked if it were. Again, the star, Rachel Zegler, is unbelievably charmless in public. Studios really need to go back to what they originally did, which was tell your stars to shut up and not say things, because no one is paying to hear your star say offensive things off the screen.
I am walking into Snow White, 2 p.m., now seating. Let's see how empty it is. I hope it's off the book we go. I hope. Sound like I hear a couple of people. One, two. Okay. 2.
The internet has crowned Rachel Zegler the face of woke gone wrong, and now the Simpsons are about to make it official. In a move that's already igniting social media, the legendary animated show is reportedly dropping an episode that doesn't tiptoe around the controversy. It goes for the jugular. The title? Snow Woke, The Reimagining. And if that sounds like a direct jab at Disney's live-action Snow White and its headline-making star, it absolutely is. Forget subtle satire. This is a full-on roast. From Zegler's now infamous interviews trashing the original princess, to her bizarre commentary on men being weird, the show allegedly mocks every misstep. Sources say the parody features a self-absorbed actress who thinks she's too good for fairy tales, too enlightened for romance, and way too eager to lecture her audience. Sound familiar?
I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
I know this point has been made, but this truly is the worst casting maybe in the history of the film industry.
For Zegler, who's already facing a tsunami of backlash, this couldn't have come at a worse time. Her once glamorous PR image is in shambles. Her Snow White debut is still in limbo. And now, she's being turned into a national punchline by one of America's most iconic TV shows. The timing isn't just savage, it's strategic. Once hailed as the next big thing in Hollywood, Rachel Zegler's rise was fast, loud, and glowing with potential. After winning hearts in West Side Story, she was handed the crown as Disney's new Snow White, a title generations of actresses have dreamed of. But instead of leaning into the legacy, Zegler seemed determined to rewrite it literally. In multiple interviews, she dismissed the 1937 classic as outdated, said her version of Snow White wouldn't dream of true love, and called the original prince a stalker. Her tone? Smug. Her words? dismissive.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about
she's gonna die.
true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can.
And the internet didn't forget. Clips of those interviews circulated like wildfire. Memes were made. Hashtags like #NotMySnowWhite began trending. What was supposed to be a fairy tale relaunch became a full-blown PR disaster. And to make it worse, every time the fire began to die down, Zegler would pour gasoline on it, giving tone-deaf statements about feminism, romance, and how audiences needed to catch up. Let's be real, Disney saw this coming. The studio knew casting a Latina actress in a traditionally white role, then stripping the romance out of one of its most iconic love stories, was going to spark controversy. But they gambled that the new generation would cheer. They were wrong.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
Audiences didn't buy it, especially when the studio tried to replace the seven dwarfs with a group of random magical beings to avoid offending anyone. Add Zegler's smug interviews on top of that, and the entire production looked less like progress and more like parody. Now Disney's stuck. The film is finished but delayed. Merchandising deals are frozen. The release date has been kicked down the road. And inside sources say executives are terrified the backlash could grow once the film finally hits theaters. And now, The Simpsons just threw gasoline on the entire dumpster fire.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
This is someone who is as entitled as, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up and do the job.
According to insiders, The Simpsons episode doesn't hold back. The parody film, Snow Woke, is a brutal satire of everything people hate about the new Snow White reboot, from its preachy tone to the complete erasure of classic fairy tale romance. In the episode, the Snow Woke character lectures woodland creatures about patriarchy, refuses to be saved, and rewrites the story so that the prince ends up apologizing for even trying to kiss her. Sound familiar? Even the dwarfs get a makeover, now portrayed as gender-neutral forest consultants who speak only in progressive buzzwords. But the most savage part? The character, clearly modeled after Rachel Zegler, is portrayed as a narcissistic, social media-obsessed actress who treats everyone around her like idiots. She's seen interrupting scenes to scold directors for not being woke enough and calling the original story problematic garbage. According to a leak, the episode ends with the parody film bombing in Springfield and the studio execs saying, "Well, at least we made Twitter happy." Ouch.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years.
The internet is already exploding. Leaked clips and screenshots of the episode are making their way around Reddit and X, formerly Twitter, and the reactions are brutal. One user posted, "Even Lisa Simpson has more charm than Rachel's Snow White. And Lisa's 8. Another wrote, "If the Simpsons are roasting you this hard, you really messed up. This is gonna stick." Even some of Zegler's former defenders are going silent. The mood has shifted. This isn't just about bad PR anymore. It's about cultural perception. And once The Simpsons turns you into a joke, it's nearly impossible to bounce back.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
What's really interesting about this is not that this is something new. Rachel Zegler has been doing this for a very long time.
Insiders in Hollywood are reportedly cringing. One executive anonymously told a trade magazine, "This isn't just a hit piece. It's a mirror. A lot of people are worried their own projects could be next." The message is clear. The public's patience with Hollywood's overly politicized reboots is wearing thin. And Zegler, fair or not, has become the poster child for everything audiences hate about that shift. Even industry veterans are weighing in. One writer tweeted, "The Simpsons mocking Rachel Zegler is a cultural moment. It marks the point where parody finally caught up with reality. And if Zegler thought her silence would make the controversy go away, this just yanked her right back into the spotlight."
Breaking updates, very important. Snow White, there's been an enormous amount of controversy surrounding Snow White, obviously.
So where does Rachel go from here? Public image is everything in Hollywood, and right now hers is crumbling. She's not promoting any new projects. Her social media presence has gone quiet. And industry whispers say she's been advised to lay low until the Snow White release, if it ever sees the light of day. Worse, she's become radioactive. Studios don't want drama. They want box office gold. And Zegler, once seen as Disney's next golden child, is now seen as a risk, a walking headline, a symbol of failed messaging. If the Simpsons episode goes viral, and it's already on track, the damage could be permanent. This isn't just about Rachel Zegler. It's about a pattern. Audiences are tired of reboots that lecture instead of entertain. They're fed up with studios chasing clout instead of quality. And with The Simpsons, a show known for skewering cultural trends, officially dunking on that pattern, it sends a loud, clear signal. The pendulum is swinging hard. Even satire is waking up to the fact that wokeness, without substance, is driving people away. That maybe audiences don't want a politically correct Snow White. Maybe they just want a story with heart, magic, and a little romance, not a corporate checklist in a dress. For Rachel Zegler, this might be the most humiliating moment of her career. But for the rest of Hollywood, it might be the wake-up call they desperately needed. The Simpsons didn't just parody her, they exposed a trend. And if more studios keep pushing tone-deaf remakes, they might be next on the chopping block. So what happens now? Rachel can either double down and defend herself, or disappear until the storm passes. But one thing's clear, The Simpsons just made her the face of Hollywood's most embarrassing era. And no fairy tale rewrite can undo that. If you thought The Simpsons went too far, or not far enough, drop your take in the comments. Is this the end of the woke Hollywood era, or just the beginning of something even crazier? And if you want more brutally honest breakdowns of the scandals, flops, and chaos happening in Tinseltown right now, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we don't sugarcoat anything here. See you in the next one.